Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will be debating the topic and trying to persuade you to believe that golf is not a sport. First of all, athletic experts agree that golf is not a sport because of its lack of rigor. ESPN assembled a panel of sports scientists, and they all judged golf as 51 out of 60 activities done. These 60 activities were judged on based on 10 categories, including endurance, strength, and ability and stability. Golf was ranked below ping pong and right above roller skating. How can golf be considered a sport when people at the age of 60 are playing it? The age of peak athleticism is 26. And most sports like basketball and soccer, it's true. But when golfers at such an old age are playing, how can it be considered a sport? Tom Watson and Jack Nicklaus are two examples. Tom Watson at the age of 59 was so close to winning the British Open, and Jack Nicklaus won 11 of his 18 majors after he turned 30. Smoking when playing a sport and smoking and drinking, how can it be called a sport? Let's take a closer look. One example is John Daly, a professional golfer who won 2 major tournaments during his career. He weighed 285 points at one point and struggled with alcoholism. During the British Open, he was smoking and ended up winning the tournament. How can this be possible how can it be possible to consider this a sport when you were smoking and winning a tournament? A sport is a challenge, a contest, or a winnable game that involves physical activity and an offense and a defense. Yes, golf is strenuous. It is challenging, and it might take a lifetime to master, but that does not consider it a sport. There are also many other activities that are hard to master. Some of these include dance, marching band, and cheerleading competitions. All these are hard to master, and they can be challenging, but they are not sports. Lastly, when there is no defense in a sport, how can it be considered one? The fact that there is no one to stop you from changing the way you play or your score, it cannot be considered a sport. Thank you, and I'm now open to questions.
First time in my life I'm seeing so many golf fans. Delighted. Okay, Senator Hardikar.
Senator, I'm not sure if you've heard of the baseball player Joe DiMaggio. He's one of the most famous baseball players to ever be known. And he was always seen with a bottle of alcohol on the bench. He drank while he played, and he was a phenomenal baseball player. So it doesn't exactly show a correlation between the alcohol or cigarettes and the performance of the player.
Yes, but baseball has a lot more physical exertion than golf does, so it will be considered a sport.
Senator Shanmugam.
You said that sports had to have an offense and defense. Wouldn't it be kind of dangerous if there was somebody on the diving board when you were diving trying to trip you?
Actually, you're going against yourself when diving. The water is going against you as well as your mental ability.
So is in golf, the course is against you, the sand trap and the water hazard and the wind is against you.
Yes, but there are opponents who are supposed to stop you. Whereas when
Just
you're
like in diving? Senator Anna?
In cricket, there's a famous cricket player called Sachin Tendulkar, and he retired at the age of 40. And he did a good job by getting about 200 centuries, and he still plays cricket. He did a good job playing cricket. So that doesn't mean you can't be old to play a sport, and cricket is considered a sport.
Yes, I'm saying that golfers who are at the age of 60 are winning tournaments. Yes, in basketball, Steve Nash, one example, he's a very good player, and he's playing at the age of 40, but he's retiring next year. There are golfers who are 60 years old and are still playing.
They're playing in the senior tour, not the regular tour. So Tom Watson came close to winning the tournament, but he did not. That was the only example.
Yes, but is there a senior league for basketball or
Yes.
soccer?
There could be, just that they don't have they're not organized, but there are, yes.
Senator, you say that sports shouldn't be sports if the athletes drink alcohol or smoke. What about the other athletes in other sports who take even worse things like drugs?
Yes, but are they taking drugs when playing the games? Think about it. John Daly had a cigarette in his mouth when swinging at the ball.
Okay, thank you very much. And it's a tough topic to defend. I know.
Are you
Okay.
fit in here?
Huh?
Are you fit in here?